David, we had in the debate, and Andrea, Hillary Clinton jumping on Barack Obama about William Ayers, the weatherman, is one of the questions, and Jeremiah Wright. John McCain is now picked up on the William Ayers situation. Tom Hayden, the former radical from the 60s, has now written a piece which is basically saying, time out. And he writes this: Hillary's blind to her own roots in the 60s. She was in Chicago for 3 nights during the 68th Street confrontation. She was involved in the New Haven defense of Bobby Steele during his murder trial in '70 as lead scheduler of student monitors. Most significantly, in terms of recent attacks on Barack, after Yale Law School, Hillary went to work for the left-wing Beria law firm of Truehalf, Walker, and Bernstein, which specialized in Black Panthers West Coast labor leaders prosecuted for being communist. 2 of the firm's partners, according to Truehalf, were communists. 2 others tolerated communists. All these were honorable words and associations in my mind, but doesn't she see how the Hillary of today would accuse the Hillary of the 60s of associating with black revolutionaries who fought gun battles with police officers and defending pro-communist lawyers who backed communists? Doesn't the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, whom Hillary attacks today, represent the very essence of the black radicals Hillary was associating with in those days? Are we going to have a debate in November about past associations and pastors, or are we going to have a debate about the war, the health care, and economy?
One of the real assets that Obama has had has been the fact that he is part of the post-boomer generation, the first presidential candidate who really is not culturally or intellectually tied to those disputes of the 60s. The Ayers issue, for the first time, tried to put him back into that category. I think it's weak enough of a link that he can get past this one, but he's really had a tough time now in the last 2 weeks separating himself from all of those controversies that people are really weary of hearing about.
Has Hillary Clinton successfully put a question mark over Barack Obama's head? Who is this guy?
She has, and he has, in some of his statements. And I do think, let me just say something, from being on the ground in Pennsylvania and in Ohio, I think racism is a real factor here. I don't think it's being polled correctly, because I don't think it can be polled correctly. I think it is what you see in some of his failure to connect with a particular sector of the electorate. And I'm not sure how you get your arms around it, but I think it is a real issue that there is a resistance to him on some level in the electorate. And you hear these things from voters when you talk to them. Oh, I heard that he's not really a Christian. Oh, well, he didn't, put his hand over his heart. All this willingness to believe totally erroneous things about Barack Obama, which begins to congeal, and I think it's a problem.
John, how's this going to end?
Oh, goodness. How's it going to end is probably sometime in June, unless Andrea's right and Obama wins big in Indiana, and he's getting the drip, drip, drip of superdelegates, which is one thing we're all paying close attention to. In about the last 4 months, the deficit with Hillary Clinton has gone from 100 down to about 23. He's got the momentum with this group. If they continue to pick up that pace, if in the beginning of June, barring some extraordinary event in these primaries, they all get together and jump for Obama, then it ends in early June rather than at the end. But as David points out, it ends only as far as sort of our chatter about it. Nothing officially ends until August. And so there's lots of chance for mischief between when it ends in June and when they get to the convention in August.
Gwen, Ifill, based on your reporting and aware of the history of 68 and 72 and 80 when Democrats are divided, do you believe that this party could actually come together after this debate?
Sure. Why not? I mean, the country has, we come together after things all the time. This country right now seems to be riven by grievance, whether it's the grievance of people in New York who think Sean Bell's killer should have been, convicted, or if it's the grievance of, beer drinkers in Pennsylvania who don't think that Barack Obama listens to them. Right now, everyone's going to have a nice, healthy argument about that's fine. But there's no reason. There's a lot of time between now and the fall. And as John pointed out, John McCain is doing a lot of interesting things which will bear closer scrutiny when the time comes. And, it's fun for us. It's the Full Employment Act for journalists.
Richard Wolffe?
Well, I thought Howard Dean was very interesting on this. He campaigned vigorously for John Kerry, and his supporters hated John Kerry. Is Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama going to go out there and campaign vigorously for the other candidate, the ultimate nominee? Is one of them going to raise their hand on the stage at the convention? We're going to be looking for those things and testing just how strong that commitment is.
Neither has any choice. Why? There's 2012. That's my last word, all right? David Broder, Andrea Mitchell, John Dickerson, Gwen Ifill, Richard Wolffe. We'll be right back.